Hey guys, welcome back to another video. As you can see by the title in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 4 websites that you can upload your books onto in 2023 and make money. This can be either through a subscription service on those websites or by readers simply purchasing your books directly. These recommendations are in no particular order, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So my first recommendation is Radish Fiction. If you're unfamiliar with Radish, it's essentially a serialized fiction app that enables authors to monetize their books. One of the many reasons why I love Radish is because your books are heavily protected on the platform, so you don't have to worry about people taking screenshots of your work because that action is blocked on the app. And since Radish is only available as an app and not an actual website for you to put your works on, like Wattpad, there's no stressing when it comes to those sneaky mirror sites ripping off your content and things like that. And something else that I love about Radish is its user interface. It's aesthetically pleasing, and every book cover that you'll see is of high quality, and because the homepage is updated often, finding a new book to read as a reader is never a difficult task. Now let's discuss how you can make money on Radish. Readers pay to access your content by purchasing coins, which they use to unlock each chapter of your book. So essentially, the more books you write, the greater your earning potential will be. And then also a factor that plays into that as well is the genre that you write in. Side note, romance is the most popular. So something else to keep in mind here, everything is about quality when it comes to Radish. If you upload a first draft that's riddled with issues like grammar and punctuation and things like that, Radish readers are not afraid to call you out about it, and you will more than likely not retain paying readers. So please make sure you're uploading quality work, especially if you plan to put it behind a paywall. Speaking of which, let's jump into that. When creating your book on Radish, you'll encounter a section about the different pricing model options. As you can see on the screen, you can upload your book for free or select one of the 3 paid options: wait to unlock, premium, or premium. Please feel free to pause the video to read the description of each model. Radish claims the most popular model is wait to unlock, but the ultimate choice depends on what you believe is the best fit for you and your book. Now you might be wondering, how do I get started on Radish? Luckily, the answer is very simple. There are 2 ways to get started writing on Radish. 1, if they personally invite you to join, or 2, you submit an application and keep your fingers crossed for approval. If you decide to submit an application, you will need to have a writing sample available that's at least 30 pages long. That may have changed as the making of this video on August 27th, 2023. You can find more information about the requirements of what they're looking for on the application form, which I'll link in the description box below. Once approved, you'll gain access to the writer's dashboard, which is where you can create your stories and set the pricing model for each of your books. Again, you'll find the links for everything, including the application for Radish, in the description box below of this video. Moving on, let's talk about Inkitt. I personally feel like it's easier to get readers on Inkitt these days than it is to get readers on Wattpad, but that's another conversation for another day. So Inkitt is a platform for readers and writers. They have an app, and you can also read and write on desktop as well as the app. They host contests often, some of which can lead to book deals and monetary prizes. They also have a sister app under the Inkitt brand called Gality. I may be pronouncing that wrong. I do apologize if I am. And it's basically Radish 2.0 in my opinion, but it comes with music and sound effects and all that good stuff that's supposed to offer readers a more immersive storytelling experience. I haven't personally explored Gality all that much because I don't really have that much time to read online these days. But if you're into stuff like that, it may be of interest to you and something for you to check out. Now, as far as I know, the only way to get onto Gality is if someone from Inkitt reaches out to you about your book on Inkitt. At this time, I believe it's invitation only, so unlike Radish, there is no application form for you to fill out and apply to get your books on Gality. Now let's get back to Inkitt. They recently rolled out something that I find very interesting and I'm super excited about and currently experimenting with, and it's Inkitt subscriptions. So we all know what a subscription is, but in the book world, it's where readers subscribe to you, the author, and pay a monthly fee of your choosing to read exclusive content and books from you. It's basically like Patreon, except your readers don't have to go to another website to subscribe. They do it all on Inkitt, which makes things very simple and seamless. As the author, you're in charge of how many tiers you have and how much money you want each tier to be. Again, if you don't already have a following, now is the time for you to grind and get content out so that you can build one on Inkitt. If you already have a following and you would like to try your hand at offering subscriptions to your readers, there's no sign up for you to do or anything like that. The feature should automatically be enabled in your account on Inkitt. And here's how you set it up. So step 1, you simply sign up for an Inkitt account if you don't already have one. Step 2, you'll need to go into Manage Stories, which is where all your stories will be listed once you create one, including your subscription stories. On the right hand side of the screen, on the left hand side of the screen, you should see Manage Subscriptions. Click on that and you'll need to set up your payment details. I can't walk you through this process, so please reach out to Inkitt support if you run into any issues. The quickest way to get in touch with someone will be on their Discord. Anyway, in order to set up your tiers for your subscriptions, you will need to add your payment details first. After you do that and get approved, you should now be able to customize and create your tiers. Once you publish them, they should immediately go live. Now, when it comes to adding a book to your subscriptions, simply go into the book settings and select yes to the question that asks, is this a subscriptions only story? I'm not going to go into too much details about setting up your subscriptions on Inkitt because it's pretty self-explanatory, but if you guys want a video of that, just let me know and comment that below. Moving on, let's talk about Reem. Reem is a new subscription platform for authors, and it was actually built by authors. The best way that I can describe Reem is that it's as if Wattpad and Patreon had a baby. The subscription concept is the same as Patreon, except it's 100 times better than Patreon, and it's way easier to use for both authors and readers. And it also has similar features to Wattpad that readers love, such as the inline commenting. There's no ads when you're reading on Reem, and it also keeps your position in a book, which is very, very, very helpful to readers. I'm going to make an in-depth video later on Reem, which will go over how you set up your subscriptions page as an author, what all the cool features are that you need to be using, and etc. So I won't be going over any of that in this video. At this time, anyone can sign up and start a subscription on Reem if you're an author. But something to keep in mind is that Reem is primarily all about subscriptions, which means it isn't like Wattpad where readers can sign in and immediately start browsing and reading books customized to them by an algorithm. It's your job as the author to send your readers to Reem in hopes they'll sign up to your subscriptions profile to pay to read whatever exclusive content it is that you're offering. So essentially, readers already know what to expect when they come to Reem. They're going there to support you as the author, and they're going there knowing that it may be pay to read. But it's not all about subscriptions on Reem. Authors can also offer books to the public and books to just their followers, which can also be free content as well. So while it is primarily payment based, it's not 100%. So it allows everyone, readers who can afford to pay and readers who can't afford to pay, a spot to be on Reem. So it's very inclusive. More information about Reem as well as links to create an account will be listed in the description box below, and I am using an affiliated link for Reem, so if you do create an author account, your support is much appreciated for me in this channel. Now, the last website that I want to talk about is called Lutionary. I may be pronouncing that one wrong as well, and I do apologize if I am. So it's a newer website that I recently stumbled across, but have high hopes for. They don't have an app at the moment, so everything is done on the actual website, but readers and writers are welcome to join. As a writer, it has a very easy to use interface, and for readers, it has cool little features like snippets, which helps you to discover new books, and as an author, helps to get your books out there to the Lutionary audience. Some other cool things to keep in mind is how discoverability works. And according to Lutionary, they have created an algorithm to list books on the home page. They also offer reading lists, following lists, ranking lists, and a search bar for books, a community forum, and again, the snippets feature, which is a really cool promotional tool that I've never seen before on a reading and writing site. They also have a Patreon integration feature, so authors that already have a following on Patreon can actually import their list of patrons to Lutionary. Your readers will be able to flip from one chapter to another, bookmark to save their reading progress, and use the table of contents features, all of which you cannot currently do on Patreon. These books will remain locked to anyone that is not a Patreon subscriber, so the general population on Lutionary will not be able to read them. Now, when it comes to making money on Lutionary, they literally just launched their own version of subscriptions. They are very big on authors making money, which is why they created a monetization model that addresses the issues of microtransactions. Any writer currently on Lutionary can sign up today to test out their new subscriptions feature. And again, the links for everything will be in the description box below. To wrap this video up, I want to give a special mention to Wattpad. I bring them up because Wattpad is a great place for you to start and gain an audience. Right now, the only way to make money on Wattpad is if someone from Wattpad slides into your DMs with an offer for one of your books. And the opportunities can range from getting your books into their paid stories program, where your chapters are locked behind a paywall, or an actual book deal. Anyway, getting back on track, if you upload consistently, at least once or twice a week, you can gain a following if you don't have one already. Now, just to note, if you write in the romance genre and if you do it well, then it should be less of a hassle to gain a following on Wattpad, but discoverability right now on Wattpad is a little shit. So don't expect any of this to come easy, especially when it comes to gaining a following. Will you get thousands of new readers overnight? Absolutely not. We all started from zero, including myself. The point is that you need to create something that you love, and also, I won't say right to market, but something that people want to read. And when you're ready to branch out from Wattpad and start charging readers for your content, which you can't do yourself on Wattpad, then you can slowly funnel them over to one of the 4 websites that I mentioned in this video. Now, what would have been an honorable mention in this video is Patreon. The only reason why I didn't include Patreon on this list is because Reem is basically Patreon for authors. Also, Patreon doesn't have any copy-paste protection on their website, so your work isn't technically safe from being stolen and or plagiarized. And when it comes to posting books, your chapters are not kept together and things really are just a big mess to navigate and read as a reader on Patreon. So now that Reem exists, I will probably never recommend Patreon to writer friends, maybe unless Reem isn't available in your country. And once you guys start exploring Reem, you'll understand why I feel this way. And that's basically it for this video. So again, the links for all websites will be listed in the description box below. And if you guys have any questions, you can comment them below and I'll do my best to answer them. Until next time, stay safe and God bless.